Parents, this is how you guys can help your child succeed in Jiu-Jitsu. There's a few things that I always tell parents. Number one, when you come in here, make sure that you let the coaches coach and that you just watch. For two main reasons. Number one, you don't want to put excessive pressure on your kid when they're in class and learning something new, and you want to make sure that they know that they're only supposed to listen to the coaches and to the voices that are directing the class. And number two, it makes the instructor's job harder to have to compete with parents on the side that are giving them conflicting instruction often, and oftentimes instruction that's wrong. In fact, most of the time the instruction is wrong. Especially if you guys have never trained Jiu-Jitsu, right? You've brought your kids to the school that they're currently in because you trust the instructors there to manage your child's learning. And so make sure that you let them do that and that you don't get in the way. The best thing you can do is just be supportive and make sure that your child is having fun and that they're doing what they're supposed to do. If they're not, this is a conversation you should have with them outside of class so you can let the instructors manage. Now, a really, really big thing I always want parents to understand is that you don't want to chastise your kid for a poor performance or for losing unless it was the result of ignoring advice from the coach or bad sportsmanship or not trying and giving up. If it's any of those three things, then that's fine to chastise them, obviously, because that is an attitudinal adjustment that they need to have in order to get better at jiu-jitsu, but also to just approach life in a productive way. But if they tried their best and they failed to win, or if they did poorly in a training session, that is not a reason to chastise them. It's going to make them resent jiu-jitsu. It's going to make them resent competing. And that's not something that you want if you want your child to be successful long term. You want them to love jiu-jitsu. You want them to look forward to coming to class. You want them to look forward to going out and competing. If they lose, the best part of losing is that you get to find what went wrong in the match and fix it and fix what your child did wrong. And that's the coach's job. And I, as a coach, will never get mad at my student if they tried their best and they listened to me and they still lost, right? But if they gave up, if they just completely ignored what I said, then I'm going to have a talk with them and I'm going to be like, hey, this is why you lost and you need to listen to me and you need to stop giving up. Because these are also attitudinal adjustments that will help them not only in jiu-jitsu, but in other facets of their life. So it's important that those problems be addressed. The last thing I'll say is if they have a bad training day, they had a bad competition, be encouraging to them, right? Give them advice that makes them want to come back into jiu-jitsu and try harder, right? If they lost in a close match, just say, hey, you did great. I really love seeing you compete. I think you just need to keep working hard and you'll eventually beat this person, right? But you have to come back to the school and you have to keep training. The more that you train, the better you're going to be. Whatever conversation you have, just make sure it's encouraging, make sure it's positive. Again, if the reason that they lost or they had a bad training session is simply because they just didn't do well, but they tried, right? Effort over a long period of time is the biggest determinant of who's actually going to be good, okay? It's not immediate athleticism or innate instinctual ability most of the time that determines who's going to be good long term. After several years, it's usually the kids that put in a lot of effort, that work hard, and that love jiu-jitsu. Oftentimes, the kids that are naturally talented, they don't develop the skill sets of actually having to struggle to improve their jiu-jitsu, and so they rely too much on their athleticism, their speed, or maybe the couple things that they're good at, and they don't expand their arsenal. You want to make sure that your kids are always learning and always enjoying learning and wanting to learn new things and getting better. And so these are some positive things that you can do with your child that are going to reinforce those habits and make sure that they continue to be successful in jiu-jitsu and any other sport or martial art that they eventually take or decide to learn. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're new, make sure you also smash the thumbs up button. All this stuff really helps us. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next time.